This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Calmsden Farm. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and there will be a link down in the description below. But before that, this video is brought to you by Todd Templar. Thank you for being a farm baron. So let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome to Calmsden Farm. This map is based in Gloucestershire, UK. Replica of a real-life farm and its surroundings. Real-life PDA map. Custom lighting with deeper blue skies and darker nights. Animations such as birds flying across the map. Pedestrians and even fish swimming through the creeks. Custom textures with Parralax mapping. We're going to take a look at some of those custom ground textures with Parralax mapping, as well as custom fence and stone wall textures, as well as lots of the textures on the custom buildings that he has built. Over 50 high-definition new models made by himself, 36 fields with missions, 2 large placeable areas where you can build your own farm or production facilities, 5 sell points, including a BGA and sawmill, various seasonal visuals. From the summer, there are going to be barbecues, mowers, washing lines, and such. In the autumn, be prepared for falling leaves from the trees, and in winter, snowmen, icicles, and much, much more. This map includes 100 collectables from the Elm Creek map, so plenty to look around for, and quite possibly get yourself a nice, cool bonus if you find all 100. Custom UK license plates built into the map, custom ground textures, and loads of custom sounds. Let's go ahead and load on into the map. We'll pull up the log and watch everything load on up. I will say, if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you do not start with any vehicles, so you'll have to buy all your vehicles. You do not start by owning any land also in those 2 play modes. And with that, let's go ahead and load on in. As soon as we load on in, we hear some nice custom bird sounds in the background. Let's go ahead and take a look at that PDA. We'll zoom on out. You can see this is clearly a Google Earth image that now has had the various fields overlaid on top of it. We take a look at all the crop types available to us here in Farm Sim 22. We do have all of the available crop types in Farm Sim 22. If we take a look at the lands area, you're going to find some interesting things. First up, this is where we start. So we are starting right here. This is our farmhouse sleep trigger. We have animals over here in these pastures, and the cow farm is located right here. This area that I'm clicking on, that includes this forested area and all of the kind of exterior of the map, sell points, etc. It's all owned by you at the start, but it's also unsellable, which means it is also unbuyable in the other play modes. But that is not going to cause you any issues, because you can sell the sleep trigger without having to own this particular land. So that is something I did just want to point out. Now, some interesting aspects of these animal areas here. We're going to talk about those when we get around to the farm tour, but I have been able to sell the horses, the chickens, the sheep, the pigs, the sleep trigger here. I've been able to sell the junk under the barns. I've been able to sell I believe the water trigger, the fuel trigger, but I have not been able to figure out how to sell the cow barn. And you cannot sell any of the buildings that are built into the map. So with respect to our ratings, one of them is, can the farms be customized? I'm going to give this map a half a point, because we can sell most of the animal areas if we want. We cannot sell the buildings. They are built in, and I've yet to be able to figure out how to sell The cow area, maybe I can't sell the cow area because it is a building. I'm not sure. Sometimes, and I'm going to try to demonstrate this, sometimes you got to click on just the right thing in order to be able to sell items. Take a look at our crop counter. We have the base game crop counter available to us here on this map. And let's move on down to the prices screen. And I have to say, this is where we start to go awry. Or should I say an oat. So we do have sell points for wheat and barley, but we do not have the ability to sell oats. We also do not have the ability to sell sorghum, grapes, or olives. We have the ability to sell sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beet cut, cotton, and sugarcane. So I could understand if maybe we don't have the ability to sell grapes and olives because they're not crops that are specific to the area. But I would guess that sugarcane is probably also not a crop specific to the area, but we can sell that. So the logic of not being able to sell oats, not being able to sell sorghum, grapes, or olives escapes me a little bit. And as a result, one of the ratings, which is can we sell all the included base game crops, base game production elements, and animal outputs, sadly, we are not going to get a full point on this. I'm going to have to somewhat grade on a curve, I feel, and we're going to give this a half point for that as well. We do have the ability to sell eggs, wool, and milk, so we can sell all of our animal outputs. We also have the ability to sell wood chips, silage, grass, hay, and straw. We do not have the ability to sell 9 of the 21 production elements on the map, including flour. We do sell bread, but we cannot sell any cakes. We can sell butter, cheese. We cannot sell fabric or clothes or sugar. We can sell honey, but we cannot sell cereal. The oils are good. Raisins, ironically, and grape juice, ironically, we can sell, but we can't sell grapes themselves. Okay. Lettuce, tomato, greenhouses are good. We cannot sell chocolate. We cannot sell planks, which is rather ironic because we have a buyable sawmill on the map that produces planks. We cannot sell furniture. We do have the ability to buy lime, and we do have a stone crusher so we can process our stones. We take a look at the vehicle overview. You can see that we all have new equipment, well maintained. It is all owned. We do have 5 animal areas at the start, but they do not have any animals in them. And there are contracts available on the map. You notice that we do have the biogas plant as an owned production point at the start. So be cautious with that. That means that you cannot sell products at the biogas plant. You're going to be placing them for the purpose of your production and your production only. I think that is pretty much going to do us for that part of the video. I do want to show you right here that we can indeed, if you want, sell the sleep trigger right there for $5,000. And while we're here in the build mode, let's go ahead and go over that. We do not have the ability to place down any custom sheds, custom silos. There are no custom silo extensions. There is a custom petrol tank, which is the same as this base game petrol tank. So I found that rather interesting, but it is technically here at the end. So it is technically a mod part of the map. Tools, we have all of the standard base game items, and we can put down our sleep trigger if we want. Right here for $20,000, we can buy it back should we so wish. As far as production, we have all the base game factories available to us. No custom factories, no custom sell points, greenhouses, orchards, or generators. Those are all base game. All of our animal areas are also base game elements. So while we can sell most of the custom animal areas, we cannot put them back down. If for any reason we sell, let's say the pigs, we're going to be putting down our own in-game pig area or a modded pig area. We cannot put down the pig area. that comes with the map. We have all base game decorative elements as far as fences, lights, and others. And we do have some custom textures that I want to go ahead and just paint real fast. And this brings up another interesting missing element. We are missing the English language XML entry for the farm plate, which is right here. I think we're going to have to get to another area so that we can actually put that down, but we will do that here in a moment. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and do our fly around, and then we will come back to the shop. We'll get in our Mahindra, and then we'll drive around to the various sell points. During the fly around, I will hit up on the animal areas and the base game. Not the base game, but the default starting farm. But I did want to show you some of the really cool textures that we have available here. We've got a custom stone wall here with the parallax occlusion mapping going on. In lots of cases, we also have the ability to open these AI house gates, which is pretty cool. And you know what? While I'm down here, we might as well just run up the hill, because this is where the cow area is. So here we have the default cow area. We have our silage bunker for the cows. We can sell the silage bunker. I've tried to sell lots of stuff on the map when I was doing a cursory look at it. We can sell the silage bunker trigger. Visually, the silage bunker goes away, but we can sell the trigger. We have our buy point for our cows. This place will hold 150 cattle. We have our animal feed trough inside of here. I am also going to assume that this is where our straw trigger is. I do believe that I probably forgot to look for that part here when I was doing a cursory look around the map. Inside the animal pasture, we have our slurry tank located right there. You can see a big open area for our 150 cattle to roam around in. We have a fuel tank, placeable fuel tank available right here. This is sellable. We have a farm silo. We have our dump station and our fill pipe located right there. I tried to sell this. I could not get that to sell. If it is sellable, I just was not clicking on the right area. We have a water trigger here as a fill point. We have our milk trigger located right there. We have one of our custom buildings with wonderful textures, both on the roof and on the walls. Inside here we have some of our telehandler equipment, and here is some of our starting equipment. Let's go ahead and maybe do a rundown of our starting equipment while we are over here. So if we take a look, we start out with the John Deere 6230R, a pair of those, and the Fendt 714 Vario. As far as harvesters go, we have the Kloss Tryon 720. Telehandlers, we have the JCB 54170 Agro Pro. Trailers, we have the half pipe FP or HP20. We get the Combo Flex 1080 grain header to go with our Kloss harvester. We have the all-rounder Flatline 600 cultivator. We have the Rapid A600S seeder, the Power Roll 1230 HD Dalbo roller. We have the Vantage 4300 pull-behind sprayer. We have the Kuhn side mower and the Kuhn VB3190 round baler. We have ourselves a bucket, pallet fork, and bale spike for the telehandler, a header trailer, and a front weight. All of that is owned, as we said. We can get into more of these buildings. As I said, these buildings are permanently affixed. They cannot be sold. As are the decorative elements that are here on the map. These decorative elements appear to be permanently fixed. I tried to sell these and I wasn't able to. Some more awesome looking custom textures right there. And what we might as well do is just run over to the next part of the farm, which is just up the road and down the street. Might as well while we are at it. Visually, the map is on a whole new level for sure, based on the various mod maps that we have seen to date. Even with respect to the base game maps, visually, this map is hands down on a different level, 100% for sure. Like here, we've got some more of these new textured buildings that are using the new technique. And speaking of that, we have a ground texture right here, which for me, it looks a little weird, but I understand what is going on. He's trying to emulate muddy ruts and tractor treads and everything, but I don't know. It's coming across not quite right for me, but I get it and I like the attempt. Okay, nothing negative on that. It's just it looks a little maybe a little much. I'm not really sure. Now, right here we do have the junk that we can sell. Remove junk from barns. It's going to cost us $249. And now we have a completely usable barn, should we so wish. Inside of here, we have our horse area. We can sell this. This is the base game horse area. So we have our horse buy point right there. 8 horses are able to be kept in this facility. And then we have the food trough inside of there. We have a custom chicken area over here. 100 chickens can be bought. I'm not going to buy the chickens because I want to demonstrate something for you. Let's open the gate. So we have then our chicken trough located right there. Got a really nice horse training area up here. Like this. Here we have that same general texture, but it's a bit more subdued. It's a bit more, subdued, and it comes across a lot better. I like that one a lot better. Up here we have our pig area. Now, if you wish to sell the pig area, there is a bit of a trick. Took me a little while to figure that out, but we can buy this or buy 400 pigs. And I wanted to show you where the trigger for the gate is a little awkward, but it's over there on the corner. We have our water and our food trough for our pigs. And I wanted to show you. Typically, if you want to sell an animal area, I've found clicking on these icons by the triggers will typically work. But you can see that is not working for the pigs. Well, interesting enough, I went into F5 mode where we can see triggers, and I found over here collisions for the animal troughs. And here we can rename or sell the pig pasture if we wish. And if we sell the pig pasture, then the triggers are going to go away. These buildings are not going to go away. They are permanent. The food troughs are... I'm trying to remember now. If the food troughs are permanent or not. I know these are. These are permanent. They do not vanish when we sell the animal areas. But I do also want to buy the animals because I want to see if we're going to get the ability to have manure or whatnot. Let's just go ahead and do that. Go to our animals and then our sheep. They are going to not produce manure. They're not going to produce slurry because they are outside. I want to go ahead and sell this. And then I want to sell that particular animal area because I want to show you what does and does not go away. We have now sold it. The troughs do vanish, but these buildings remain. So if you had a thought of, hey, I could sell the pig area and then make use of this as a field, I could create fields and carve this up. You can indeed, but these things are permanent. They are not sellable. I can't go demolish and click on these. They do not do anything. So as far as the chickens go, the chickens are a little interesting. So we can come down here and we can click on the trough to sell our chicken pasture, just like that. But we can also go up here and click on this fence and sell our chicken pasture. And we can click on this fence to sell our chicken pasture, which is a little odd. And if we do that, the fences go away from here, 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 and here, here, and then our trough and trigger goes away. So I'm thinking that is also maybe a little bit of a coding bug with respect to the map. Now we do have a sheep area, and the sheep area is going to be located right here. We have our spawn point for our wool, and we have our food trough and our water trough for our sheep, and our sheep buy trigger is way over here by the main road. So I think it's very interesting that we have the ability to buy these animal or sell these animal areas, and then at that point in time all of the triggers go away and we can make use of this area, field 31, however we should wish. So again, if we come here, we can't sell it here at the animal trigger. We have to come over here, and I've had best luck kind of clicking around the food trough, and now the food troughs are gone. The trigger for the sheep spawn point for the wool is gone. The buy trigger for the sheep are gone. So now field 31 is just a big grass field. So I like the concept. I like that concept a lot. We cannot put the custom sheep triggers or pig triggers or chicken triggers down after we sell it because this land is not flat. I'm pretty sure that's why we can't place those back down. But if we wanted to, we could place down a base game or a modded area. This is where your eggs are going to spawn. If I hadn't sold the chicken area, you should have saw that the triggers were located right here to spawn our eggs. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I wanted to paint those ground textures because this map does have some custom ground textures. I wanted to paint those just to show you. So we put down our farm plate, our animal mud, our asphalt, then we have dirt, we have forest ground, and we have grass. Now as far as placeable trees, we have the base game trees as best I can tell down here on this list. And then under plants, we have the base game plants. These are all available from Elm Creek, also as best as I can tell. So here we have our custom concrete plate, kind of a scratched up concrete. We have our animal mud, which appears to be more of a base game animal mud. We have our base game gravel. And then we move into a custom dirt texture. Right there, you can see it is using the new texture technique. And we have a custom forest floor texture located right there. And then our base game grass texture. So as far as the rating system of buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique and our ground textures using the new technique, yes, this map definitely is making use of the new texture technique in ground textures, both the ones you can paint and the ones that are embedded with the map, like the one that we saw over here. And we're going to see more and more of that through the map tour. We also have seen custom buildings, custom stone fences using this new texture. So we get a full 1.0 score for that particular rating system. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We'll fly around the map, get into our Mahindra at the shop, and then drive to the various sell points. A little bit of altitude and go ahead and pull up the map. And while we are doing that, we'll just go ahead and do a little bit of a pan around just to get a little visual reference of where everything is. And that makes pretty good use of a distance texture. You can see where maybe the coloring changes a bit off in the distance. That is outside the map boundaries. But overall, other than the kind of the shading change, you do get a very good representation that the map just continues on and on and on for as far as you can see off into the horizon. And below we have several houses. We've got a bit of a, well, someone is not paying the pool keeper very well because the pool is either a bit muddy or a bit algae laden, because it has what I think is pretty much the same texture as the river down here, or the creek, stream, whatever you want to call it. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Here we have another one of those custom ground textures, and I'm pretty darn sure there was a fence here when I was doing my other tour. It makes me wonder if when I sold the chicken coop, if I sold all the fences or gates. I'm pretty sure there was a gate here. I'd love to know in comments if in your game there was a gate here. I'm pretty sure there was a gate here, but I might be mistaken. But I think when I sold the chicken coop, it sold all the gates. So that may also be another bug. But here we have another set of that custom ground texture. This one's not overdone like the one that we saw first. I like this one. It looks nice. Kind of muddy, rutted up ground. So let's come on down here to the stream. I wanted to show you the stream. Like I said, the pond, the pool kind of has the same general kind of greenish tint as the stream does here. And the stream has, well, if we're lucky, we'll see it. The stream has some aquatic life. Oh, right there. So we have some aquatic life coming through the river. There's another fish. Swimming along. Having a good old time. So, like I said, this map visually is stunning. Far more than any mod map that I have looked at to date for Farming Simulator 22. Which, quite honestly, makes it a bit frustrating because of some of its, dare I say, shortcomings. The lack of the ability to sell all of the base game crops and the base game production elements, that is really frustrating. And the fact that in my testing when I was going around just kind of exploring the map, the AI planted oats, which you can't even sell on a map. So that is a really frustrating point. Let's see. Do we have oats planted in here right now? We do. We have oats in field 1 and 23 right now. We can't sell oats. Do we have... Doesn't look like we have any of the sorghum in there, but again, it's just frustrating. I understand this map is emulating real life area. I understand that real life, rural, country, UK probably isn't overly industrial. I understand that, but I also understand that there are two very large areas that have been placed on the map, taking up pretty substantial potential farmland for the purpose of being able to build out your own farm or place production elements. It doesn't seem too much of a stretch to me to go ahead and add the ability to sell oats, sorghum, grapes, and olives, flour, cake, fabric, clothes, sugar, cereal, chocolate, planks, and furniture to the myriad of sell points that we already have on the map. Speaking of sell points, here we have our animal dealer trigger. So we can go here and buy our animals should we wish to transport them. And then we come into here and we have 3 of our sell points already right here. We have the farmer's market. Then we also have the All Spheres store and the All Spheres store bale sell point located in here. Now, another interesting caveat that I found when I was doing my testing is, oddly enough, we can sell the sell points. And I'm not going to do it here, but if I wanted to, I could sell the All Spheres store for $437,000. If I did that, then we wouldn't be able to sell there anymore because it would now vanish. But I did find that rather interesting that we can sell that for a pretty substantial amount of money, should we so wish. Let's go ahead and make our way over here, and I'm going to show you the first massive placeable area. And this area has been really interestingly set up. It's like it's an abandoned area that's just slowly being reclaimed by nature. Has some real estate signage right here to let or for sale by land development. And if we go to lizardestates.co.uk, maybe you can get some more information about this piece of property. But you can see how it's been set up. Clearly we have, spotty, patchy grass, bushes here, and this area is absolutely massive. So you can have a huge industrial complex here, build out a big farm, or you could buy this area and just create a field and make it a farmland, should you so wish. Now I realize that I kind of jumped the shark and we didn't go through our normal queue of how we normally do things, but we've got the ability to buy this area for $834,000. As far as other land on the map, we have small fields like field 15, which includes the cow barn for $96,000. Other fields like 31, which was the sheep pasture, for $110,000. Field 35, which we own at the start in new farmer mode, was for the pigs. That's $132,000. We have our horses right here for $28,000. Our chickens were $4,000. The buyable land that included the junked up sheds we could buy for $6,200. We have, this is a secondary farm right here that we could buy for $45,000. In new farmer or farm manager, we already own it at the start in, new farmer mode. In farm manager, start from scratch, we could buy that. The other massive placeable area is going to be up here between fields 2 and the sell point, and that is going to be able to be bought for $649,000 basically. Field 1 is $1,155,000, and field 17, as a point of reference, is $1.3 billion. So we have some very big fields on this map if you want to get into some big UK farming. Over here we have some sell points and the biogas plant. We do, as I said, own the biogas plant at the start. So we have 3 sell points, sorry, 4, yeah, 3 sell points here and the stone crusher. So we have Coltsworth Store, Farmers Market, Coltsworth Stores. We have our stone crusher and Coltsworth Stores bale sell point. Those are those 3 dump stations right there. We have our stone crusher located inside of there. And then our biogas plant, which is located right here, that we do own at the start in new farmer mode. Can we sell the biogas plant? Yes, we can indeed. Now, I did not check earlier, but I don't think these doors go up. They do not. Do have a little bit of shed space over here at the biogas plant. I just want to see, do these doors open? They do not either. Let's go ahead and venture to the north, where we have more sell points. And then this area directly in front of us, where I have the little circle, that is the other huge placeable area we're going to take a look at here in a minute. As far as our triggers and player interactive areas clearly marked, yes, I do believe they are. I was a little frustrated that I couldn't figure out how to sell the pigs for a little while. That, I think, may have been maybe a leftover of where possibly the food and water triggers were at one point in time. Visually, they got moved, but the collisions didn't get moved. Or for whatever reason, the markers that govern, you know, your sell points didn't get moved. There's some frustration around the inability to be able to sell some other things, which I think you maybe should be able to sell, like the triggers for the cow barn. I haven't been able to figure out how to sell that. Maybe you can't at all. We've got a real interesting element here in a recycling center. And I think Calmsden really has to have a talk with their citizens about proper recycling, because this is cardboard. And, well, we've got bags of trash, and, well, it's full of stone and dirt. So, overall, they've got a big problem. Big problem with proper recycling, because all of these containers do not have the right material in them. And if you are paying attention, you've probably already seen tons of collectibles during this tour. So back this way, we have the farm store, where we're going to have some more sell points. One located right there, here, and on this side of the building. And then our farm shop, our vehicle shop, is located right here. And this is where we're just going to go ahead and kind of end the aerial tour and jump in and do a bit of a drive around. So we have a nice custom farm shop here. Go ahead and pick up our Mahindra. And well, while we're at it, let's see this custom UK license plate. There we have custom UK plate, type 1 and type 2. You see our spawn point for our new vehicles. Fairly decent sized spawn point for our new machinery. We will have to be cautious about how we size our machinery, because we will have to get it out of this narrow gate. As far as our customized trade, repair, and sell triggers, that is going to be located here at the side of the building at this loading dock, which is pretty interesting. Even this building is making use of the new texture technique with the grout lines. Really good. I really like that. There we have our recycling center. And what we'll do is drive in first person up to the next point of interest, which is going to be to the north. Just want to check. So the hedges do not have collisions. There are a few cases where we do have utility poles and utility lines running through the fields. In those cases, those utility poles do indeed have collisions on them. So while we're running up here, let's just kind of pan to the left and right. Get a little idea of kind of the lay of the land. And right up here, you can see the land for sale sign for the second large placeable area. This is also reporting 11.3 acres, so I gotta wonder if both of these zones are the same size or if we're just using the same signage. Now this big area is a bit more grass placed. You can easily buy this right now and use it just to, just for the purpose of a big grass field. Now, one thing that I was a little disappointed on, and I don't know if it's even technically feasible, but the for sale signage here at these areas, when you buy the land, the for sale signage doesn't go away. It'd be really nice if somehow, some way, the signage was inversely connected to the purchase date of the land. So if the land was owned, the signage didn't show up. If the land was unowned, the signage did show up. That would be really cool if that's even possible. I don't know, it's just an idea. So here we have the viable sawmill. Again, you can bring logs to the sawmill. Here we have the drop off for that. We have the sell wood trigger. We have the pickup point right there for our planks, our interactive icon, and then our pickup point for wood chips. For whatever reason, possibly an oversight, we do not have the ability to sell our planks that we can produce from the sawmill if we buy it. We would have to... I was going to say we would have to buy a sell point that takes planks, but now I'm thinking, do we have such a thing? Let's look real fast if there's even such a sell point that buys planks. So the farmer's market does not. The pizzeria obviously is not going to buy planks. The restaurant is not going to buy planks. Right? The supermarket, are you going to buy planks? I don't think you will. I mean, it'll be a pretty interesting supermarket that buys planks. Supermarket buys furniture, but not planks. Biomass heating plant does not buy planks. So, unless you have a custom buy point that does buy planks, your only hope is to basically buy the carpentry shop, place it down, and then use planks in order to make furniture, which you can then buy a placeable sell point and then be able to sell your planks, or sorry, sell your furniture as a result of your planks. So over here we have 3 additional sell points, and I just wanted to see, just on the off the cuff, if we can actually go in this. No, we cannot. Okay. And up here we have, for our sell points, we have the general store bale sell point, and the general store bay 1. As I said, we have the sawmill and then the sawmill trigger there. This is the road. Okay. I thought this was somehow connected to these sell points, but this is also technically the road through here. So at this point, let's make our way down to that secondary farm where some more of our machinery is located. It feels like a secondary farm because it is removed from the cow area, but maybe that's just how farms are in the UK, where sometimes they are kind of spread out over multiple areas. So we do own field 3 over here to our right. Field 1 was the field I was saying that had oats in it. Looks like the oats are in a harvested state. They're not growing, at least. At least not on this particular boot up of the map. Yes, definitely 100% selling those chicken gates caused lots of other things to happen. There's doors that are supposed to be here, and they're no longer here. So look for, in my opinion, the map to be updated at some point to separate out all of the gates and the doors, because there's supposed to be doors here, from the chicken area, because if you sell the chicken area, then all of this other stuff seems to vanish also. So over here we have a secondary farm silo, custom silo. We have our dump station right there. We have our fill pipe then over on this side, located right there. We have another fuel tank that we can delete. We don't have any issues. We can delete that fuel tank. The junk here, I've tried. I have not been able to figure out how to delete this particular junk. Maybe that is possible. All of these sheds are permanently embedded on the map. They're not removable. There was a door here. And here we have more of our farm machinery, including our harvester. More of our machinery. We have a liquid fertilizer storage silo over here. This is a custom model as best as I can tell. Would be nice if we could place this down. We can come over here and buy that, should we so wish, or buy liquid fertilizer to fill it. And we can sell this if we want, again, for the low price of $435,000 in our pockets. To double back this way, and I think there's a couple more sell points that we need to hit up over on this side of field 21. While we're going over there, let's summarize this a little bit. So as far as production built in or have areas set aside for the placement as such, I'm giving the map a full score on that one. So here is the poles. They do have collisions. So the map gets a full point on production being built in or places set aside for such. There are 2 large areas set aside for the placement of production, should you so wish, or building farmlands. And even though there's only 2 production elements built into the map, there is plenty of area for you to put down more if you wish. As far as if this map includes all of the base game sell points, or sorry, all the base game crops, animal outputs, and production elements with the ability to sell, well, that's a big no. Because as we've said, we are lacking the ability to sell oats and sorghum, as well as grapes and olives. We also lack the ability to sell flour, cake, fabric, clothes, sugar, cereal, chocolate, planks, and furniture. So a fair bit of sell points, or a fair bit of product cannot be sold, including the oats here that Miss Adrian Hopper is growing. Sorry, Adrian, you planted the wrong crop. You are out of luck. So the map gets a half a point for that regard. Can the farms be customized? Kind of. And as a result, the map is going to get a half a point in that regard. Also, we do have the ability to sell most of the animal areas. I couldn't figure out how to sell the cow barn. Maybe we can't sell the cow triggers because they are in a building. Maybe that's why we couldn't do it. We can sell the silage bunker trigger, but we cannot sell the visual silage bunker. We can't sell any of the buildings, so we're going to get a half point for that. As far as buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique, round textures are using the texture technique. Yes, indeed, that is the case. In fact, here we have another one of those fences or walls that are using that texture technique. We've seen ground textures using that technique and other buildings. So the map is going to get a full 1.0 score on that regard. And we have already said that the map is going to get a full point with regard to triggers being clearly marked in interactive areas. So overall, this map is going to get a 4 out of 5. This map could have easily gotten a 4.5 out of 5 if we were able to sell all of the crops and all the base game sell points or products at least one of the included sell points, because there are a ton of sell points for all of these products. There's no reason why one of these stores couldn't accept oats at a minimum. One of these stores couldn't accept flour, for example. So that is a bit of a frustration element for me. That the map, visually, it's stunning. Custom textures everywhere you look, with new models clearly taking advantage of these new texture techniques. Here we have the bulk lime point. But the map is still suffering from 2 critical areas, in my opinion. One, it lacks the ability to sell the base game sell points in all the production areas. We've harped on that enough. And 2, we lack the ability to sell all of the farm buildings. I understand a lot has gone into the creation and the attempted recreation of a very exact area in the UK. I fully understand that. But I would like to see the ability for a player to make that choice. Do I want that shed there? Yes or no? And if it's no, then the ability to remove it. The ability to place a shed down once they decide that they don't want it. Maybe they want it moved to another part of the farmyard. And then the ability to place that custom building that they can sell back down at another location. So guys, that is Calmsden Farm. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the map? Do you agree with my assessment of the map? And until next time, happy farming.